The story begins in a remote and isolated house where a musical band has gathered to live and record their new songs. The situation takes a dark turn when the band's leader descends into madness and proceeds to methodically kill all of his fellow band members. In a final, desperate moment, a girl from the band is still alive and makes an attempt to flee for her life, but the leader catches her and brutally kills her with an axe. Following this massacre, he takes his own life as well. After this horrific event, the narrative jumps forward 18 years into the future. We are introduced to a new band in a recording studio. The leader of this band is named Dave, and the other members include a drummer and a guitarist. Their manager arrives at the studio, clearly agitated. He confronts them about their lack of progress, asking if they have created a new song yet. The manager is furious, explaining that he is dealing with significant financial losses, and their creative stagnation is not helping. Dave, however, remains calm and tells his manager not to worry. He confidently promises that they will produce a new song very soon, and that it will become a massive hit. All they need, he says, is a peaceful location where they can focus on their work. If the manager can provide such a place, they will deliver a new song to him shortly. The very next day, the manager's secretary takes the band to a house. It is the exact same house where, 18 years prior, the previous band leader had murdered all of his companions. Upon seeing the house, the band members are immediately filled with a sense of dread. The house is situated in a desolate, terrible area, and its appearance is unsettling. As Dave looks up at the building, he becomes scared because he is certain he sees someone looking down at him from one of the windows. But just as he focuses on the figure, it quickly hides behind a curtain, leaving Dave to wonder what he just saw. Despite the eerie atmosphere, the secretary shows them around, explaining that the house was recently reopened and assuring them they will have a lot of fun making music there. Dave, trying to test the acoustics, claps his hands. The sound echoes perfectly through the space, and he likes it, believing it will be good for their music. He declares that he is ready to work there. While settling into the house, Dave hears the distinct sound of something being cut. Looking outside, he sees a man chopping down a tree. Dave goes out to approach the man and ask who he is, but as he gets closer, the man mysteriously vanishes into thin air. Elsewhere in the house, one of Dave's companions is repairing some electrical wires. Unseen by him, the hand of a soul appears nearby. The band member is suddenly struck by a severe electric shock, which kills him instantly. The remaining band members are deeply worried by this tragic event and insist that they should leave the house immediately, as nothing feels right. Dave, however, dismisses their fears, telling his companions that they cannot just leave and abandon their job. Reluctantly, his companions agree, and they decide to stay. A short time later, the group is sitting outside for a meal. Dave is preparing a barbecue when he makes a horrifying discovery inside the grill: the severed head of his companion who had just died. He is completely terrified by the sight, and his group members have to take care of him and calm him down. Soon after, he again hears the sound of someone cutting a tree. This time, he grabs a tool for protection and goes to investigate. As he moves toward the sound, he is interrupted by their neighbor, a lady who introduces herself by saying she is a huge fan of their band. She explains that she lives in the house next door and tells them they are welcome to ask for anything they might need. Following this strange encounter, Dave sits down with his friends to once again try and compose some new music. Despite their efforts, they are unable to come up with a new tune, and they all grow increasingly concerned. Dave suggests that his companions should leave him alone for a while, hoping that solitude might help him find inspiration and create a new melody. However, this idea does not work, and his mind remains blank. That night, as Dave is sleeping, his bedroom door suddenly swings open on its own. He sees the soul of his deceased companion standing before him. Then, a swarm of souls appears and descends upon him, cutting open his abdomen and beginning to eat his intestines. Dave is overcome with terror and wakes up shouting loudly, only to realize it was all just a nightmare. Awake and hungry in the middle of the night, Dave orders some food for himself. A delivery man arrives and is delighted to see Dave, telling him what a huge fan he is. The delivery man reveals that he is also a musician and would like to show Dave a sample of his music, but Dave ignores him and makes him leave. After eating, he tries once more to compose music but is distracted by the sound of a tap leaking water. He goes into the kitchen to check on it and is terrified to see a soul manifesting within the running water from the tap. Needing some fresh air, he steps outside, where he notices a basement. Drawn by curiosity, he moves inside. Inside the dark basement, he hears a voice coming from behind a curtain. When he pulls it back, he discovers an old music recorder that belonged to the band that had died in the house 18 years ago. He turns the recorder on and hears a nice tune playing. He decides to steal it for his own song, but the machine suddenly turns off. When he tries to start it again, he hears a voice coming from the recorder that says, "Complete this music." At that moment, a light bulb hanging nearby begins to spew blood before it bursts unexpectedly. The force of the explosion throws Dave across the room. In that instant, the souls in the house have successfully affected him, entering and taking control of his body. When he comes out of the basement, he meets one of his companions, who asks him what he was doing down there. Dave simply tells him not to go inside. The next day, Dave gathers his bandmates and plays the stolen tune for them, lying and claiming that he composed it himself. As his companions are trying to learn and play the new tune, someone knocks on their door. It is the neighbor lady, who has brought them some sweets. Dave, visibly agitated by her presence, asks her to leave. One of his companions takes the sweets anyway and tells the lady not to mind Dave's rude behavior. When the lady looks closely at Dave, she realizes that he is affected by his soul. She pulls his companion outside and tells him that Dave is not acting normally and that his condition is not good. Dave was watching them from inside, and when the lady saw him staring, she fled in fear without saying anything more. 3 weeks pass as they work on the music, and they manage to complete half of the song. One night, Dave summons his companions for a meeting. He creates a red star on the floor, explaining that it is not just any star, but a malevolent or demonic one. He points to the 5 corners of the star and tells them that these represent the 5 of them. This star, he explains, means that if they all work together, they will surely complete their tune. One of his companions refuses, saying that he is too tired at the moment. Upon hearing this, Dave becomes enraged and yells at him. Intimidated, his companion quickly backs down and says they will do whatever he says. The next morning, Dave's companions discuss his strange and aggressive behavior, wondering what has happened to him. Dave then arrives and apologizes for his outburst, and they all forgive him and get back to work. They are soon overjoyed because they have finally completed their song, which is 27 minutes long. The delivery boy returns to their house once more, this time bringing his music cassette, hoping that Dave will listen to it. As the man arrives with the food, another man appears and cuts his neck with a pair of scissors. This was an act carried out by the many souls working together. Dave and his companion later open the door to find the food waiting outside, but no sign of the delivery boy. They all eat the food, but the meat is undercooked. To the surprise of his companions, Dave seems to be enjoying it immensely. His friends are taken aback to see him in this state. The next day, the secretary who had given them the house returns for a visit. One of Dave's companions offers her the sweets that the neighbor had brought, but she declines, stating that she does not like sweets. She asks where they got them, and the companion explains that their neighbor gave them the sweets. The secretary tells them that the lady is not nice and that they should avoid her. Meanwhile, Dave's companion discovers something written under the plate the sweets were on. When the secretary reads the words, she is visibly taken aback. Dave's companion ignores this until Dave arrives and informs the secretary that their work is going well and they are now composing their song. Later, one of Dave's associates becomes irritated and walks outside, throwing down his guitar. He decides to start a barbecue, but when Dave sees this, he becomes enraged. He grabs the man and throws his head into the barbecue. The man's face is severely burned, and he dies instantly. Behind Dave, the specters of many souls are shown, revealing that they are the ones causing him to commit these violent acts. While walking outside, Dave's other companions make another gruesome discovery, the severed head of the delivery boy. They are terrified when they see it. One of them tries to call for help, but Dave snatches the phone from him, asking if he is crazy. He tells them their song is nearly finished and they will notify everyone once everything is completed. He warns them that if they tell the cops, they will all be in trouble. He then summons them back inside to practice. After some practice, Dave begins eating the meat of the companion he has just killed. His remaining companions witness this horrifying act and wonder what has truly happened to Dave. One of them recalls that Dave's strange behavior started right after he came out of the basement. At that moment, they hear the voice of the neighbor lady. She explains the dark history of the house, revealing that 18 years ago, the leader of the band that stayed there practiced black magic. He worshipped devils and had created a book out of human flesh, which he would feed with the blood of animals. This is why he killed all of his companions before ending his own life. The lady further explains that the soul of that leader has now imprisoned their friend Dave. He is doing everything he can to resurrect that demonic book. The song they are working on is linked to that book, and if it is finished, it will unleash demons into our world. Realizing the terrible truth, they devise a plan to stop the soul from entering our world. First, they manage to get back the phones that Dave had taken from them. Meanwhile, the lady and one of Dave's associates go into a room to hide. However, Dave was already hiding under their bed, and he kills them both by turning on his chainsaw. Dave's last 2 companions make their way into the basement. They discover the book hidden beneath an animal that had been attached there. They begin reading the book to learn how to send the souls that have arrived in this world back to their own. In order to buy them time, Dave's other companion goes to distract him, so that Dave does not discover that his friends have gone to find the book. Dave tells this companion that they must finish their song. Frightened, the companion complies and helps him finish the song. As soon as it is done, Dave throws a steel ring at him, which severs him into 2 pieces, killing him instantly. Dave then separates all the dead bodies to hide the evidence. He then notices his 2 companions fleeing while carrying the book. He chases after them, but they manage to stay ahead. They begin reading the incantations from the book, which causes the water in the nearby swimming pool to turn a sickly green color. As they read, Dave slips and falls into the water. When they complete the reading from the book, the soul seems to be expelled from Dave's body. His companions pull him out of the water, but he has no memory of what happened to him. He vomits, and the flesh of the friend he ate comes out of him. The soul of his dead friend appears, and Dave fights and defeats him. Then, all the souls of those who died 18 years ago arrive. They pour blood into the book, and as a result, the souls appear to return to their world. Dave's friends have taken him out of the house and ask him to wait for them while they get their van. They move near the van but cannot find the key. One of Dave's associates goes under the van to try and start it by connecting the wires. At that moment, Dave's manager and the secretary arrive. They ask whether or not Dave has finished his song. The secretary then moves toward Dave's 2 companions. The companion who was under the van is crushed and killed, and the secretary ends the other one's life by stabbing him. It is revealed that because Dave finished the song, the soul of the evil leader was still inside him, it had not left him after all. Dave's manager was the Devil King all along. That is why they killed his remaining companions. They wanted Dave to finish the devilish song from the very beginning so that devils could return to spread destruction in our world. The story concludes a few days later. Dave has become famous after releasing his song. Millions of people are waiting for him at a concert. His manager approaches him and asks him to inform his fans that he will meet them shortly. Dave moves his face to look upwards, a maniacal smirk spreading across his features. The soul of the long-dead band leader was still inside Dave, and this is the final, chilling scene of the film.